Hello friends, Ben Ochart here. Thank you so much for tuning in. You know, recently I've come to the conclusion that there are two kinds of fish keepers. And by the end of this video, maybe you can tell me in the comments below which one of those two you think you are, or maybe there's a third category that I didn't talk about. But at any rate, let's go ahead and jump right into it, the two kinds of fish keepers. So the first kind of fish keeper is what I call the overthinker. And I certainly fell into this category not that long ago. And it really involves a person who really has to research and look into and study and really kind of go way overboard in the area of research. And don't get me wrong, research is not a bad thing. It's actually a very good thing, and certainly lacking with most fish keepers. But some folks go into what I call analysis paralysis, or as an accountant friend of mine once said, they get lost in the sauce. So instead of jumping in and getting a project going, they'll hold off for long periods of time before they feel comfortable enough to jump in. I've done this with certain things. I've done it with sumps. I had apprehension about doing a sump project, my first sump, and I certainly like hem and hawed and put it off until finally I went ahead and jumped in and then learned a lot from the actual experience of doing it, then going back and studying and things of that nature. And that brings me to the second type of fish keeper. There's a kind of fish keeper out there that jumps in. They just jump in with both feet, and they crash and they blow up, and then they step back and they go and they regroup. They go, okay, what did I learn? Okay, I shouldn't put two male betta together, or I shouldn't mix those kinds of fish, or that was, I should have put a controller on that heater so it wouldn't have cooked my fish, or whatever. They just jump in, they set everything up, and then they learn by having a crash, and then they do what, to borrow another cliche, they close the barn door after the fish, after the horse. They close the barn door after the fish is gone. They close the barn door after the horse has run away, and they step back and go, okay, what did I learn from this? And so you have these two types. Now, over the years, what's happened is, and maybe you'll relate to this, I've become a bit of a blend. I want to jump into projects. I don't want to jump in too fast. I don't want to make big mistakes. At the same time, I don't want to put it off too long. So sometimes I'll study an upcoming project or an idea far enough until I feel confident to go ahead and jump in. And then if there's some hiccups, I go ahead and continue the study and research project as I go along. And sort of a blend. So I guess there's a third type of fish keeper. So you've got the overthinker, right? Lost in the sauce and analysis paralysis. And then you have the one that just goes in and blows it all up and then steps back and either learns properly how to do it or gives up the hobby, right? They just go, forget it, this isn't for me. I lost all my fish, forget about it. Somewhere in between there's probably a proper blend. Which one of those do you think is you? I'd like to know about that. Also, I'd like to tell you what, a couple things inspired me to talk about this subject. Someone made a comment under one of my videos that contained information that I think if it was followed, especially by beginning fish keepers, would produce horrible results. It could result in just total catastrophes. And sometimes a person will not research, they'll do something that's, in my opinion, a little bit wacky, and because it hasn't blown up, they think it'll never blow up. They get into this mindset of because it hasn't happened, it's never going to happen. And then they start giving it out as advice or making it sound like something everybody should do. Well, never quarantine your fish, never match temperatures. It doesn't matter what you mix together. They'll just give these, they'll throw out these things because somehow the fish have survived that they have, but they have a lot of moving parts, a lot of different water parameters and fish with certain temperaments, right? But then they throw it out there, and not only do they throw it out there, but they throw it out there in a way that is assertive. And the other thing that motivated this video was a video by John Hudson, where he talked about run for the hills if you get somebody who tells you that there's only one way to do things. We're in a hobby that is, as I'm fond of saying, is a fluid situation. So many different moving parts, so many different ways to do things. And your water is different from my water from the tap, right? My combination of fish is different from your combination. My filtration choices, my substrate choices. So even what I tell you may or may not work for you, because I have a very unique set of circumstances. And I try to be clear in every video that you really have to do research and to where you feel comfortable, and certainly be alert, because the advice you get on YouTube from anyone, including me, may not be the right advice for your situation. So at any rate, what kind of fish keeper are you? Are you the overthinker, or are you the one that just jumps in, blows up, and then steps back and goes, all right, what did I learn? Or are you the blend of both? I'd love to hear it in the comments below. Go ahead and share it. And we'll talk about this and a whole bunch of other topics, from filtration to fish selection to feeding and everything else at the Saturday live stream, the Cichlids and Coffee live stream. It's called Cichlids and Coffee, but it's about a whole bunch of different stuff. And tune in on Saturday at 11 o'clock Central. That's 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, for the Cichlids and Coffee live stream. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, be sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell, and consider becoming a member of the Garage Gang, and help support the ongoing creation of content and the building out of this garage fish room. Thank you for your support, my friends. You are greatly appreciated, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.